Yeah, it's
Lee. If I listened to
yeah.
what the internet said, I'd be convinced that you get paid to say things about movies.
Nothing surprises me.
Lee, aren't you a Marvel shill? That's what we've heard.
I am.
Right?
I
Yeah.
definitely am. I get my checks every month from Disney.
Just so you can watch the movies early.
There's another soundbite. I wanted to let's shift to the next story. Okay, let's go with something lighter, and I want to see what you guys think of this. I'm going to play you a little video. This is we're shifting to Scream 7. I wasn't going to talk about Scream 7, but a video popped up on X that I just had to include in this because, and I'll let my audience tell me if they're hearing something different than I'm hearing, or maybe just Matthew Lillard. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm not understanding what he's saying. Okay, I got it right here. So let me shift you guys over here so you can see what I'm looking at. This is interesting. I'm going to play this and then we'll comment on it, okay? All right. So this is a recent interview with Matthew Lillard about Scream 7. For those that don't know, Matthew Lillard has been confirmed to be in Scream 7, along with a lot of other Scream favorites, and even killers. The rumor is it's gonna like an AI connection, but there's fans of Stu that want him to actually be alive so bad, including myself. It's selfish, I know, but yeah. So anyway, let's listen to this. Let me back this up.
But before I let you go, I can't let you go without asking you, what does it mean to you to return as Stu?
It's good. I mean, I'm really excited. I think that there's a lot of candidly, I don't want to screw it up. And I've said that now a couple times, but I hope that fans are as excited about me coming back as I am. I mean, I've been petitioning to be, I've said for the last 20 years that Stu is still alive. And I'm finally glad I get to sort of prove that. But I'm nervous. I mean, if I go out there and chew scenery and people hate it, then it could go bad. And that's the scary thing. The scary thing is that, I was perfectly happy living as sort of I did something cool a long time ago, but to go back and try to do something else is, it's a little worrisome.
So Ghostface is not
one more time.
Coming back as I am. I mean, I've been petitioning to be, I've said for the last 20 years that Stu is still alive. And I'm finally glad I get to sort of prove that. But I'm nervous.
Just let that sink in for a sec, okay? What he just said.
There's some ambiguity there, though.
A little bit. And again, I'm the guy that wants it to happen. So of course I'm gullible Gary on this. But what he said was, I'm the guy that's been wanting Stu to be alive for the last 20 years. And I'm paraphrasing, but I'm glad to finally have the chance to prove it, that he's alive. Wow, that's a nugget right there. All right, hold on. That's just insanity to me that he said that. So did he say that on purpose? And is he trying to throw a shitty pickle on us, a Sergeant Shitty Pickle on us? Or did he slip up maybe? Or does he even just, you know what? I don't care. I'm happy. I'm just going to let the people know that, hey, Stu is alive or could be alive.
Well, Jamie nails it there. She says the password is sorta. So when he says sorta, it means that he gets to perform as Stu. We just don't know in what capacity.
Yeah.
Is Stu going to be alive, or is it sort of like a capture, sort of like a motion capture for something that would be used with some AI combination or some sort of, the way they brought Billy back, or it is really, it's great. It's great because he didn't really cop to it completely. So we get to keep on speculating, but we know that in some capacity, Stu's going to be there. We don't know how. And so yet another layer of mystery added to the Scream 7 story here.
Nick, thoughts?
Yeah, I think the operative word there is sorta. And I think that personally,
there's Scream since the friggin' 90s has been notorious for not wanting stuff to get out. Like you all remember the controversy with Scream 2, where the ending leaked. So there was multiple different scripts of that film on the set of the film because they didn't want the real ending to get out. They wanted to throw people off of their track. I do not believe that Matthew would have said that. And mind you, too, when he said it, we see it happen all the time in interviews. If someone slips up, they're like, oh, shit. Like, you can tell they know they slipped up. No, he just kept going. He was freewheeling it. That's calculated. That's 100% calculated. I don't think something like that would be they wouldn't talk about that. They would not let that out there. I think that, and Lee, I've been with you banging this drum for years as well. Like I want him to be alive. You could convince me he's alive. I'm a Stuther. Like I just 100% am, but
I got the t-shirt.
I really think that they're dicking with us, and they know they are, and they're enjoying it. And you know, they're right. It's working, but it's frustrating.
It's great for the content creation mill. I'm one of those. I'm different from you guys. I'm totally fine with Stu being dead. His legacy, though, inspiring others and permeating throughout this universe, is something that does intrigue me. And so I'm interested to see how they bring him back, and I think they can do it in a way that, you know, won't put me off. But I guess I'm just sort of like, because he wasn't mentioned in the other movies, I'm just sort of ready to just sort of step away from that. But I think Lillard is an amazing performer. Yeah. And I trust Kevin Williamson a lot on this one. And I don't think that they're going to let us down, however they work it out.
You know, I just reviewed Clown in a Cornfield. That comes out this weekend. And I'm not going to spoil anything or anything, but one of the things I said in the review, I mentioned Scream, because one of the problems I have with the movie is the script writing. It's not horrible. It's not even bad, but it's just, it's just there. You know, you ever watch a movie and you're almost like, you're just kind of like, I don't want to say you're trying too hard to pay attention, but you know, nothing just like jumps out at you dialogue wise. So you're just kind of waiting for kills or, you know, Scream, man. When you watched Scream, you hung on every single word. You had freaking Matthew Lillard just dropping these hilarious lines on people. You had freaking Randy killing it. You had Billy being mysterious. Everything just worked and fired on all cylinders. And I think watching that movie, Clown in a Cornfield, because it's sort of the same type characters, it made me appreciate Scream. And I think maybe I took Scream for granted a little bit all these years, because I started thinking about, man, give me some really good popping dialogue. And the first movie I thought about was Scream, not Halloween, Scream. Scream has that just infectious dialogue. And I think that's why it's so rewatchable. And that says a lot for a whodunit, because it's probably the most rewatched whodunit maybe in history, is as far as horror fans go, just because that dialogue is so good. It's juicy dialogue. So man. JG
Michael, the reason why I trust Kevin Williamson is because he did write those, you know, it's Scream is his baby. Like it's, you know, a lot like, Wes directed it and everything. Kevin Williamson got the idea from the Gainesville Ripper, was what inspired that story. He's the one that wrote the popping dialogue. He wrote the first two movies. Did you come back for the fourth and write that one too?
Yeah, am I right on that?
So
Nick?
I think he's written my three favorite Scream movies.
Aaron
so even though he doesn't
Scream 3,
okay. So even though he hasn't had much directing experience, you know, it's been a long time. I think one of the things that brought Nev back to this franchise was not just the money, but it was the contingent that Kevin be the one to come back, because it was something that they had sort of daydreamed about early on in the franchise's life. So I've got, you know, there's just something about when someone gets to actually hold their baby and especially like really make a statement after, I think Scream 5 and 6 were just sort of okay, but Radio Silence always leaves me like kind of well, I'm very excited, and I trust him because it's his baby.
I just had a thought Nick, I was going to ask you a question. Do you think this is going to be the best Sydney performance since part 3?
I sure hope so. And that's not to say that they haven't been good. I think she's been good in every movie. But there's just something about this one. This one feels different. Like it really does. This really feels like, because in 5, you guys, we already know the spotlight was shared with Jenna Ortega, with Melissa Barrera, with David Arquette and Courtney Cox. And in this one, it's just Nev and Courtney. I mean, like, and I feel like she is the center of the story again for the first time since probably Scream 2, guys. I mean, let's be totally honest. She's not the center of the story in Scream 3 because she doesn't really come in until halfway through the movie. She's not the center of the story in 4, and she's definitely not in 5. This is the first time in 25 years.
That's what I mean, yeah.
Yeah. So, like, I really, really, or 30 years, Jesus Christ, almost 30 years. I really, really hope that Kevin, and it's Kevin writing and directing. So piggybacking off of what Davey said, as far as the directing prowess, that's not as much important to me as the writing prowess of Kevin Williamson. He's the one that's got the brains when it comes to Scream. He's the one, the most effective twists in the Scream franchise, they were written by Kevin Williamson. So I'm gonna trust in that. But yeah, I really do think this has the potential to be like Nev's, I don't want to say swan song, like I don't, because I have a feeling this could be a 2018, where it's
this could be the start of a new trilogy.
Yeah, so I don't know, but I'd love to see it.
Circling back to Stu, because it does seem like I'm, over the moon for Stu being alive, but I would rather have a great movie where Stu is not alive, just used in another capacity, than I would have an okay movie where Stu is alive. At the end of the day, I just want a great Scream movie. However we got to get there. That's number one. Yeah, I'm a big Stu fan. If I got a great movie and Stu is alive, oh my God, that'd be like Christmas. That'd be the greatest thing ever. But yeah, that's where I'm at with it. Any final thoughts, David, before we go to the next story?
Yeah, I'll say the horror counselor says, I've always said that the Scream franchise is the only true horror franchise without any terrible movies. You're forgetting The Evil Dead. The Evil Dead is the strongest horror movie franchise of all time. Never forget The Evil Dead.
That is correct.
Yeah, Evil Dead rocks. Well, hello there. You just watched an outrageous clip from the Hit the Bricks podcast. I really hope you enjoyed that clip. If you want to see more clips, you can click here or you can click here. And you can just have yourself a ball, all right? And also follow the Hit the Bricks podcast on Spotify as well. Thank you guys. Have a wonderful day.